One of our all-time fan favorite Broadway musicals is marching your way.
You got trouble!
Oh, we got trouble! Right here in River City.
The capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool. 76 trombones led the big parade with 110 cornets right behind. And they're marching.
Live on stage, Meredith Willson's The Music Man.
Welcome back to The Exchange. I'm your host, Ruby Jones, and I'm extremely excited for today's interview with the delightful Paul Urriola. Get ready because we are heading to River City, Iowa, where a marching band, a little mischief, and a whole lot of heart drive one of the most beloved musicals of all time. The Music Man is now on tour, and it's making a stop right here in the Mile High City. That's right, Meredith Willson's six-time Tony Award-winning musical comedy is playing at Denver Center for the Performing Arts from February 27th to March 1st. I'm so happy for Paul, who's making his national tour debut as Marcellus Washburn, Harold Hill's right-hand man, and comic spark plug behind some of the show's most unforgettable moments. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to speak with you. Where are you right now?
We are currently in Pensacola, Florida right now.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. It is nice. It's a little chilly for Florida standards. I think it's like in the low 40s, high 30s right now.
Wow.
But I'm sure in Denver, how cold does it usually get in Denver? Is it?
Well, today the high is 60, uncharacteristically warm here. And I know in other parts of the country, it's the opposite.
Right.
But you still get to look at the ocean. So that's fun.
That is really, really nice. They put us in Daytona. We had a few unfortunate show cancellations for this weather. And the company, bless their souls, put us up a few extra nights in a hotel on Daytona Beach.
Oh.
So literally we'd open our window in the morning and it was just the ocean, right in front of us. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Well, we still have the mountains. So have you been here before?
I've never been to Colorado, but my whole life I've romanticized it so much. I worked in Tennessee right out of college at Dollywood for a while. And I know the Tennessee mountains are very different from the Colorado mountains. I love just that view, that aesthetic, the mountain feel of the people. But I just wish I was a little more to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I'm man, I bet Colorado is going to be for me.
Oh, I can't wait till you see it and see the mountains. Maybe it'll be nice and warm still, and you can just kind of play a little bit in the mountains, or you get the snow. Either way. Well, I'm excited to speak with you. And, The Music Man is such a beloved piece of classic musical theater. It's also one of my favorite classic film pieces. So,
oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it for sure in Denver at the Buell Theatre. But for audience members who may not be that familiar with the storyline, would you tell us what The Music Man is about and who your character is within that story?
All right. So The Music Man, on paper, it's a weird sell. It is about this man, Harold Hill, Professor Harold Hill, who is a con man masquerading as a traveling salesman. He goes from town to town, promising the local citizens that he's going to sell boys bands as a concept. He's going to sell instruments, he's going to sell uniforms, instruction books, he's going to teach all these kids how to play, and then he's going to lead the band and they're going to march through town, and it's just going to be this brilliant, beautiful display of old traditional Americana joy. The catch to it is though that he doesn't know one note from another. He can't tell a bassoon from a bass drum. He gets through purely on his charm and whimsy alone. And he finds himself in this very stubborn, stuck up Iowa town, River City. And he ends up he comes in with these ill intentions. And by the end of this 2-hour, 15-minute show, he's fully integrated himself into the community as such an integral player. And despite being a man who knows like nothing about music, he like sets up a barbershop quartet, sets up a dance company. He like fully like shapes up like the troublemaking kids and like the boys gang into like respectable young men. All that to say, it's a show about how community can be formed around the arts. And in all of that, I play Marcellus Washburn, who is an ex-con man who used to be traveling partners with Harold Hill. Like back in the day, like the two of us would like completely like ransack towns, bleed them for all they're worth, go on to the next. And my character eventually decides this is too much, like one too many close calls, and decides to settle down in River City, Iowa. And he's just has a normal life. He's works at the library, like he's a stable boy. He finds himself in the script, it's quoted as a nice, comfortable girl, the boss's niece. And he's just happy to like make his wage, go to bed, like not be chased with tar and feathers by like angry townspeople. And one day, like I'm running late getting back to the stable, and I turn around and there's Harold Hill, my ex-partner. And he immediately starts chaos in the town. And it starts off like, oh, don't you dare. Like, no, no, no. Like, I got a good gig. But also like Marcellus is he's so eager and so happy to please. He's a little bumbly meatball is the way I like to think of him. But upon seeing Harold, he's like, okay, we could one more ride. Like, what the heck? But that's who I play in all this. It's a lot of fun. And he sings Shapoopy at the end of the show, which is just such a fun, silly musical theater number
Yeah.
that most people know through Family Guy in the episode where Peter Griffin joins the New England Patriots.
I forgot that song was in there. You're absolutely
Oh, yes, it
right.
is.
You did an amazing job of describing the Music Man. You said it was a hard sell, but I think you explained that extremely well and gave me all the warm fuzzies from all the many years that I watched it. I mean, it was my go-to when I was sick and I was just home from school. And I typically have the numbers from the production in my head at least once a week.
Well, and I say it's a hard sell because I'm the same way. Like, it was the first musical I ever saw as a kid. That made me fall in love with doing this now as an adult for a living. But I know so many people, all they focus on is like, oh, here's this man coming to town and like he lies to everyone. And then spoiler alert for the over 70-year-old musical, he gets away with it. But to me, it's not about that. It's about how he introduces the arts to this community in such a weird roundabout way and like brings everybody together.
I love that within your description of it, you're also bringing in that theme of community. That is such an integral component of this storyline.
They're working together for like a common goal. And I feel like now more than ever, like in this country, it's so important to set aside our differences when we can and to just be like, hey, like, we're humans at the end of the day, and we have to look out for each other as people. Again, I always like I chuckle to myself so much when I think about the Music Man, like the silly show from the 1950s, 1960s being like the symbol for that. But to me, like that's truly what the show is about.
Well, and I was going to ask you, I know that we're looking at like a long, long time ago in a place that not a lot of people are familiar with in the middle of Iowa. But you're right. You know, some of those themes like community and music being kind of a bridge that brings people together when there is civil unrest or just social unrest. I was going to ask how that relates to today, and you just did a great job of answering that. You know, I think music is definitely a universal healing mechanism. Yeah. And like a method of communication.
100%. And also like the fact that when they do play their instruments, they're so bad. And it's still as moving as it is. Art doesn't need to be lavish. Art doesn't need to be grand. Art doesn't need to be polished. Just the act of creation in itself is such a powerful form of resistance, I feel.
Yeah.
That back then is just like, oh, like the resistance is towards like we're gonna unify. But these days, just opening your mouth to anything on anything can be so powerful. I feel like anything with the intent to better the world around us is worth being said.
Yeah. Paul, tell me a little about your backgrounds.
I'm originally from Rochester, New York. Went to school at University of Buffalo for musical theater. But I'm just literally just a small town kid. My father is from Panama. My mother is from a suburb of Flint, Michigan. Raised in a like we spoke Spanish in our house till I was maybe 6, and then just as like the Americanization of everything, like we slowly phased that out of our vernacular. And sadly, I barely speak any now. And Abuela just had her 95th birthday, and it was like she's like, "Oh, Pablo no hablo español." And I'm like, "Lo siento, abuela, te quiero mucho." But I just grew up like a single mom mostly. My parents divorced when I was 10, and art has just always been music specifically like such an integral force. I didn't get into music really until I was in middle school. I went to like a charter school growing up, and I refused to sing. I had no problem like banging the tubes to make music, but I was like, I'm not gonna sing. That's not for me. My brother is a like gorgeous classical operatic tenor,
Wow.
who got his degree in that. So like singing is what my brother did. Like that's what good singing was, and I didn't sing like him. So I was like, I must be bad. But in middle school, I switched over to public schools and had to take a music class. I signed up for chorus because my brother said, "Hey, if you literally just sit up, mouth the words, and like respect the conductor, you'll get a 100 in the class, and then it'll boost your GPA, and we can all go to Applebee's and Red Robin and report card day." But I got to chorus class on the first day, and the director asked about the select men's ensemble that combined with the high school, and he needed like middle school boys to cover some of the more like alto-y soprano notes. And that he said everyone who auditions gets in if they can literally just carry a pitch is all they have to do.
Oh,
And I was a little nervous still, but then he said they rehearsed Thursday mornings before school, and he brought donuts. um
you
and
got
I'm very food very food motivated.
this. I am too. I think we all are to an extent.
Mhm.
But yeah. I know that you have experience on stage. You've done some regional performances,
Mhm.
but this is your national tour debut. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
That's
Very,
exciting.
very exciting.
Wow.
Getting to share this story around the country at this time is truly it's just such a gift to like look out into the audience, because again, my character is kind of like the accomplice to all this. So I'm just kind of like I spend so much of the show hiding in the back corner, like trying to maybe like orchestrate this, that, or the other. But in that like last scene where the band comes out, I'm in the back, like acting wise, like, oh my God, like I'm on blast. This is the worst scenario. The kids are marching out. But like you look into the audience and they are thrilled
Mm,
by it. They are so moved and inspired.
yeah.
And that's been for me my favorite part is like seeing that they're interpreting the story the way that we're intending to be selling it. Because again, as I said, so often growing up, everyone's like, "Oh, the in my generation, like the Music Man, it's about a lying man who gets away with everything, and that's the last thing we need right now."
Yeah.
But again, that's not what it is.
Mhm.
It's so much more deep and like beautiful than that. For me, like selfishly on my part, at the end of Shapoopy, like there's this moment where like we all do like a little like rush down to the bottom of the stage, doing like a very simple choreography step that like I start, two people behind me, four, and we just make this like pyramid of people all doing the same thing. Finish the song singing that last refrain in unison. and I go like finish it down on my knee, and I always look up to the mezzanine. And like I remember being a lower middle class, chubby little theater kid, and seeing like the character actor on stage like lead a number where he's like moving so much more than you'd expect like him to be moving, and being so wowed and inspired, and like being like, that's what I want to do. Like that's so cool and exciting that here's this like clown bringing so much joy to this room of like thousands of people.
Yeah.
And I always like try to take a brief moment. There's maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds of like that they'll allow the audience to applaud before the band picks up again, because the show's got to keep moving.
Yeah.
But I love getting to like, I get down on my knee and I just look up to the mezzanine, because that's where I would always sit, and just like hope to God that there's some, whether it's like a chubby little theater kid or even like any kind of theater kid, just someone that like maybe this is what's going to reach them in a time when just everything is so bad and everything is on fire. It's just so healing to be able to like do a musical that's about sharing music with people.
Yeah.
And like, while I know the chances of something like that happening are so slim, just the idea that there's going to be someone in that audience somewhere that falls in love with the arts in some way, whether they pursue it as a career or as a hobby or just an enthusiast. Like that's, to me, that's why we do this.
The fact that you get down mid-show and look up and you're looking essentially at your former self, your younger self. It's like when people write a story or like a letter to themselves when they were a kid or to their future selves. That's really special and really sweet. And I just think you're a star. I can't wait to see what you do next. And, you know, after this touring production comes to an end, I really am excited to see your career and follow you into the future. I love your energy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see the Music Man here in Denver.
January 27th through March 1st.
Yeah. And you're going to love the Denver Center for Performing Arts complex. It's just so pretty and such a great time. We love theater here in Denver. So we're looking forward to it.
We are as well.
Thank you so much, Paul. And I wish you safe travels on your way here. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you.
Paul, thank you so much for the laughter, the insight, and for giving Marcellus such infectious energy and heart. The Music Man is playing for a short time at Denver Center for the Performing Arts from February 27th to March 1st. So be sure to get your tickets at denvercenter.org before they're gone. Thanks for listening, and for more engaging interviews featuring real stories, real people, and real purpose, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. I'll see you next time.